put in place to see to it that we get to prevent COVID-19. But aside from that, I mean,
is this the time to pray, boss? Is this the time to pray?
You prayed a lot the past few days. Have you been
scared? To be honest, no. Really. Look, I just feel like I don't want to offend people, but this is me, okay, guys. This is me. This is just me. I'm not that Christian that just always wants to keep praying. I'm not that Christian. For me, it is pray, but your actions also must follow in line with whatever it is that you're praying for. So you can't be praying to be okay from COVID-19 or that COVID-19 misses you, yet you are going out there, yet you are just looking past the measures put in place. Like, how do you expect God to help you if you can't even help yourself? So that is just me. I'm not just the let me just pray, I'm sure this is going to happen.
But
I'm not that Christian.
We should put prayer to action, and we should put actions to prayer, and
of course,
and now we hope. I mean, prayer is inevitable to pray, but also it's important to continue.
And it's so hard to not scratch your face. Oh my God.
It's so hard. I mean, yesterday we talked about that, but anyway, we still have a whole lot lined up, but probably we'll begin with today in a snap. Well, in as much as we do not want to talk about it, it is a global pandemic, and well, indeed, we will continue talking about it because it affects the human resource of a country, and it also affects the productivity levels of a country like Zambia, an economy that is still growing, especially an economy like Zambia. So let's see what the minister had to say from 12 cases, Malama, now generating to 16 cases, 4 more cases. One now, we're told, a Luanshya resident. A lot of people seem to be, quite scared.
Yes, and they should be. They should be. Look. This is South Africa is on complete lockdown. Like, there's no cross-town traveling. You can't move from Mpumalanga to go all the way to Cape Town. Like, it's just not happening. Like, it's just not happening. So I don't look. For as long as we keep town borders open, we keep our airspace open, we should expect to see more cases. So anyway, let's see what the minister had to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me now to update the nation on the events of the last 24 hours. The number of laboratory confirmed COVID-19 cases in Zambia has risen to 16. We've recorded 4 new cases, and 3 cases have involved individuals with a history of travel to Pakistan, like the other 8 cases that were reviewed yesterday. And 1 case involved a citizen who is based in Luanshya, but was on the same flight from Dubai to Lusaka when they interacted with one of the passengers who came from Pakistan. To date, 471,417 cases have been recorded globally, with 21,295 deaths. In Africa, we have recorded 2,475 cases, including 64 deaths. Countries involved in Africa are 46. And close to home, the Democratic Republic of Congo has recorded 48 cases with 3 deaths. Tanzania, 12 cases, Mozambique, 3, Zimbabwe, 3 with 1 death, Namibia, 7, South Africa, 709, and the Kingdom of Eswatini, 5. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, if we analyze the evolution of the epidemic in Zambia, we did record the first 2 cases that involved a family of 4 that traveled to France for a 10-day holiday. And when they came back, they were in self-quarantine. And upon follow-up, the husband did develop symptoms and On testing, was positive together with the wife, and they were admitted in our isolation facility. The 2 children remain negative to date. The third case involved a Zambian who went to Pakistan and stayed there for 9 months, and on return did develop symptoms, and one of the neighbors did report to our Zambia National Public Health Institute, and we managed to move in, and we managed to test him positive, and he is still in our custody. The fourth case involved a Zambian again who traveled to Pakistan on March 9th and returned on March 18th. And when we followed up this case, we did discover that there were a number of people who traveled to Pakistan. And the number of people that traveled to Pakistan increased. We noticed that the number was much more than the number that we earlier thought. And in following up all these cases and their contacts, that's how we managed to track the 8 cases that added to the 4 to make it 12. The 4 cases that we are talking about today, again, 3 are related to the Pakistani trip, and also the third one is related to being in contact with someone who traveled there. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we want to assure you that the multi-sectoral team that is involved in contact tracing, in surveillance, has escalated its interventions in line with the marching orders given by His Excellency President Edgar Chagwa Lungu, and are following up every contact associated with the cases that got into the country. Like I said earlier on, the 16th case is based in Rwansha, and we also know that one of the people that traveled back from Pakistan traveled to Petauke, and we are currently following up everybody. The 4 tests that came out positive yesterday were out of the 54 tests that we did yesterday. So out of 54 tests involving contacts of people who traveled to Pakistan, we managed to record 4 positive cases. We'd like to urge all Zambians to exhibit out maximal discipline in following the guidance that His Excellency President Lungu ordered yesterday, and ensure that at personal level we maintain hygiene and wash our hands and ensure that we adhere to all the guidance as alluded to by the President yesterday. Countrymen and women, let's take responsibility. Our public health officers will be in the community working with you, and wherever you are in doubt, engage them. Wherever you're in doubt, call the call centers. We also want to thank the cooperating partners who've continued working with us in ensuring that we have adequate PPEs and ensure that we have adequate materials to respond to this threat. Because of the collaboration with our partners, we've stockpiled materials for PPEs and are managing our patients in our isolation units well. As we speak, all the cases that were admitted to Levi Mwanawasa Medical University are very stable and they are all recuperating well, and we have not recorded any deaths.
So that was the Minister of Health earlier on today. 54 cases out of those that were tested, 4 cases came out positive, raising, of course, the number to 16.
My concern with this one is, look, you have some of these cases, most of these cases are import, right? Why aren't we shutting down Kenneth Kaunda International Airport? Like, look, I personally feel, and we have to wait for confirmation, of course, from the ministry, but I feel like most of these cases must have passed through Kenneth Kaunda International Airport, KKIA. And I'm just trying to think, why aren't we shutting down the borders and just saying, okay, look, let flights just be for cargo so that we're only getting supplies and things like essentials. If it's nothing essential, it doesn't come in, it doesn't go out. Full stop.
But I mean, government was
Same
clear.
with the borders.
Yeah.
You know, by road, nothing goes in, nothing comes out. If something is supposed to because I know, like Botswana, I have a friend's cousin who was traveling from South Africa to Botswana, and the moment the person touched down in Botswana, they were put in quarantine, forced, mandatory. It is not. They're not telling you, please, when you get to wherever it is that you're going, stay in there for 14 days, and then we'll keep chasing up.
They're not asking you.
They're not asking you. They are making sure. They are making sure that you are in quarantine. Because it's the easiest way also to track numbers. I think it's the best way to track numbers. Because at this point, you've got one human-to-human case. Okay? For me, this is where now the trouble begins. So, how many other human-to-human cases are we going to end up seeing? This won't be the last one. Okay? So, those are things we need to start thinking about, and this is why people need to be very, very cautious out there. Wash your hands, take care of yourselves, do what you need to do to protect yourself, because this is very serious. And for you who has traveled, please come out and tell the person, I traveled, I just came from ABCD, don't come too close or don't come visit me, I need to do. Just take on that responsibility.
You think a lot of people are scared to say that, though?
They are, because again, there's stigma. Exactly. There's a stigma around you.
Just knowing the fact that you came from a very high-risk country makes you feel like you can't come out and speak to whether a health practitioner or speak to your friends, because you feel that you're going to be in self-isolation for 14 days. And it's just traumatizing, really, to think about how much you have to stay in the house, away from friends, family, and just isolated. It could be quite traumatizing, and that is why we should get to speak to a psychologist one of these days, and
we need to
get to find out really how best Zambians could start to prepare themselves. Even though if you're going to be subjected to self-isolation or quarantine, how do you get to train your mindset? I mean, how do we get to adapt to that situation of being alone for a couple of days? You know what I mean? So
because you know what, in South Africa, there's a lady who has been arrested. Okay, she had left her. She got arrested. The charge is I think it's murder. I think they're charging her with murder. Because there's no way you're supposed to be in quarantine. You know that you have this disease.
And you just get out.
And then you just get out.
No
it's
way.
almost like you're purposely
No way, guys.
transmitting it. So murder is the right thing and the right charge to slap on somebody. And I hope that, even here in Zambia, our government is going to take very, very strict action against this. If there's people that don't want to follow the quarantine rules, guess what? You must serve a murder charge. Because that is literally risking other people's lives. Because what if that person dies? You would have killed them because you transmitted that to them when you could have just stayed in your house.
All right. Well, still talking COVID-19. A lot of other countries are still putting in measures, and Kenya is one of the countries that has really come out very, very strong. When it comes to wanting to prevent, COVID-19. So let's hear what the head of state had to say in today's address.
So in order to protect jobs for our people and to provide some certainty for both employers and their employees, I, as your president, do today order and direct as follows. First, that the National Treasury moves to Parliament to offer the following immediate reliefs: an increased disposable income to the people of Kenya through a 100% tax relief for persons earning a gross monthly income of up to Kenya shillings 24,000. A B, reduction of the income tax rate or pay as you earn from its current maximum of 30% to 25%. C, a reduction of resident income tax or corporation tax from 30% to 25%. D, a reduction of the turnover tax rate from the current 3% to 1% for all micro, small, and medium.
Okay, so well, you need to breathe out of that mask, but it's important that we we understand. I mean, all of those tax measures. Quite a good thing that the president has done there, and we could only hope that our head of state too could continue updating our country. A lot of panic, but I mean, there's no need to panic really. This is a time that we need to unite, maybe pray much harder. Why? I mean, I'm just saying.
Just do your bit.
But I mean, reduction in turnover tax from 3% to 1%, quite a good thing. Resident income tax turnovers. He's talking about the National Treasury moving to Parliament. Well, I think he's putting quite a lot of things, especially for the small-scale businesses. I think that is what we need for Zambia too, because the local entrepreneurs, the young ones that are getting to start up businesses, the capital is still hard to get. And when they're into that mini lockdown, or when they're into that lockdown, or either a state of emergency, it pretty much seems to be a situation that's going to really be hard. It might not even be 14 days. It might be more than 14 days, depending on the situation.
More than 14 days.
So yeah, well, pretty much. Let's see what happens thereafter.
Well, we can only wait and see what happens. But I've just seen an interesting comment on Facebook. This is coming from Wusiku. He says, I hope you guys get a lecture on how to use those masks, because with how that guy is putting it on, it means he will have to touch the outside and his hands. Clothes will remain contaminated. Now, when it comes to the masks, guys, of course, you have to make sure that maybe you stretch it out. Also, there's different type of masks. So you have to make sure you stretch it out and put it over your ears, okay? And make sure it keeps being above the nose, but just by the creak of the nose. But most of us, I've noticed also, will have it here, but just make sure you keep lifting it up. And when it comes to disposing it, you must disinfect it. If it's disposable, disinfect it. Put it in, you can put it in like a disposable bag or in a plastic and throw it away. Okay, make sure you disinfect and then throw it away. Don't just throw it into the bin. It does not help the situation.
Of course, I was just trying to demonstrate and encourage you here on the show to try to take some of those little precautions like masks, gloves, depending on the type of work that you do. And well, I was pretty much just trying to see if you guys could really also buy into the idea of trying to see if masks also could. It's not 100% thing that they're going to help you fight COVID-19, but it's
in fact now they're encouraging you to wash your hands more than to actually wear the mask. So you could go either way, but please wash your hands. Wash your hands.
Yeah, well, this is why we're going to give you some tips on how to stay safe.
We know that for many people, life is changing dramatically. My family is no different. My daughter is now taking her classes online from home because her school is closed. For the rest of the world, that even the most severe situation can be turned around. But the experience of cities and countries that have pushed back this virus give hope and courage to the rest of the world. During this difficult time, it's important to continue looking after your physical and mental health. This will not only help you in the long term. First, eat a healthy and nutritious diet, which helps your immune system to function properly. Second, limit your alcohol consumption and avoid sugary drinks. Third, don't smoke. smoking can increase your risk of developing severe disease if you become infected with COVID-19. Fourth, exercise. WHO recommends 30 minutes of physical activity a day for adults and 1 hour a day for children. If your local or national guidelines allow it, go outside for a walk, a run or a ride, and keep a safe distance from others. If you can't leave the house, find an exercise video online, dance to music, do some yoga, or walk up and down the stairs. If you're working at home, make sure you don't sit in the same position for long periods. Get up and take a 3-minute break every 30 minutes. Fifth, look after your mental health. It's normal to feel stressed, confused, and scared during a crisis. Talking to people you know and trust can help. Supporting other people in your community can help you as much as it does them. Check on neighbors, family, and friends. Compassion is a medicine. Listen to music, read a book, or play a game. And try not to read or watch too much news if it makes you anxious. Get your information from reliable sources once or twice a day. COVID-19 is taking so much from us, but it's also giving us something special, the opportunity to come together as one humanity, to work together, to learn together, to grow together. I thank you.
Well, quite important tips that you should take home there. I mean, the cases are just drastically rising. Over 21,000 deaths recorded so far. I mean, just Congo here recording, let me check, 48 cases, 3 deaths. In Zimbabwe, 1 death also, quite unfortunate. But fortunately enough, we are trying. I think the minister today did give assurance that we're trying to, we are really trying to contain this virus, looking at the fact that even government has been following closely people that traveled through from Dubai coming into Zambia. And the 4th case actually that was recorded is someone that was just close to a person that was infected on that particular flight. So I think that also the surveillance preparedness, I think that we could be, and we are indeed heading the right direction. What's with that look, Malama? Really?
I don't know. I feel I'm very on edge, and I don't want to make anyone panic or anything like that, but I just feel like and this is why they say don't watch too much of the news, because I'm looking at what America is doing. I'm looking at what South Africa is doing. Yes, they are much bigger economies than us, but if I look at South Africa, I mean, we 1-1, but I think maybe they've got more money in their reserves than we do. But I just look at how they're handling things. Do you know, on the lockdown, there's even no shopping. There's no shopping. You cannot walk into a clothing store to buy clothes. You cannot walk into a clothes. It's all about essential items, food, and medicines. That's it. There's no, I just need a new dress, blah, blah, blah. Kulibe, Bryce, cancelled. Bachelet, cancelled.
I can imagine
in India, they were whipping people to go back inside.
Wow.
That's how crazy it is. Making people do frog jumps. So I don't know.
Sounds funny, but quite a reality that we should really take precautions.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is what we have lastly on our snap. Business is again affected. This is our last snap for today.
La Feza is this is a wedding company, so I'm sure she's had to, because I know her. I know she's the owner's daughter. So I know that people have to cancel. People want their deposits back. Venues. I mean, we've seen the hotel also shutting down as well, closing doors. So it's going to be very, very difficult for a lot of people this time around. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
People hiring out cars, demanding that you need to be safe. You do not need to get on public transport. A lot of people now feel that, this is a time that you need to be much more safer, and you ought to stop to get on those buses, and that is a car hiring company. Looks like a lot of people are creating business ideas out of the current situation. Well, that's pretty much it for a snap. Coming up, quite a number of things, but we'd love to get thoughts also from a former Republican vice president, quite a very strong man of God that has, I think, encouraged Zambia for quite a long time to remain a Christian nation, to pray so hard. And pretty much in the last few days he has encouraged Zambians to unite and to pray hard. We'll be speaking to Dr. Nevas Mumba, and just to get to understand what next for Zambia. Should we be praying much more?
Like a mother's love, Tasty High Juicy is made from high-quality fruits. Start your day with Tasty. For that full breakfast, you can never go wrong with Tasty High Juicy. Treat your child to the lovely benefits of Tasty High Juicy. Tasty comes in different flavors. Manufactured by Revin Zambia Limited. For details, contact Revin Zambia Limited on +260 972 211 113. Email us on info@revinzambia.com or visit www.revinsarl.com.
Laughter's the best medicine? Well, it's also timeless, like these grown-ups taking a trip down memory lane. Maybe not so grown-up. I've also heard people saying that life is a comedy to those who think like a man. See what I did there? Stay connected for more hilarious moments all the way from Swamp World. Aren't they the cutest? We're here to keep you laughing your apples off. Go TV. Live it, love it.
There is a core belief at the heart of Liquid Telecom. The belief that every individual has the right to be connected. The pursuit of this vision has seen us build the largest independent fiber network in Africa. From Cape to Cairo, we are connecting more of Africa. Liquid Telecom, building Africa's digital future.
What? Kitchen! Do it!
Just one drop of Boom Sparkle Plus with Triple Power formula takes care of everything. One bottle of Boom Sparkle Plus will shine 1,000 dishes. Enriched with lemon and aloe vera. Now that's 1,000 reasons to choose Boom Sparkle Plus.
Hey, hello.
Of course, in the current situation, a lot of Zambians are now demanding that we continue to pray hard. Of course, joining us on the line tonight is former Republican Vice President Dr. Nervous Mumba. He is also MMD, President. Dr. Mumba, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Are you there, Dr. Mumba?
Yes, I am. I'm saying good evening and thank you for having me.
Exactly. Just your thoughts. I mean, a lot has happened now in the country looking at, COVID-19 and how fast it has been spreading. A lot of citizens now feel that we should engage much more in prayer. Do you equally feel the same way?
Well, first of all, I just want to state that we are grateful that the president has gotten involved in the fight by addressing the nation. We salute him for that because we did ask that he gets involved. That's point number one. Point number two, we are glad that measures were announced. However, as a party, we have made very clear that this is seemingly a dangerous disease that has the capacity to disable not only lives of people, but economies of nations. And therefore, to fight this fight, it must be extremely aggressive. I think that the government has done half-measure response, and it actually poses great risks to the lives of Zambians. We think that government should go to ensure that they dissolve all the social gatherings. When you go to town, you find people together, and we think that that is putting Zambian people at risk. So government must do more, must go deeper in order for us to avoid the pending catastrophe. Now, when you come to prayer, I do not want anyone to belittle the place of prayer in everything a human being does. Prayer must go right along the action that we take. The Bible says faith without works is dead. The opposite is also true, that just working hard without trusting God that He gives you wisdom on how to fight, you are going to end up fighting a fruitless fight. So prayer is extremely important, because as you pray, you acknowledge that you need God in your affairs. He gives you ideas as you pray on how to fight your battles. So if you don't pray, then you don't get God's mind on how to deal, for instance, with COVID-19. And if you pray, God gives you an idea on how to fight it and how to stop it, and then you act on it. So prayer is extremely important.
It's very interesting that you've said that, Dr. Mumba, but I'd like to know from you then, is prayer a logical substitute for seeking medication?
Well, I didn't use the word substitute. I didn't say prayer was the substitute. Prayer on its own is sufficient to do what it's meant to do. That is to summon God to intervene in the affairs of men. But God will not take over the responsibilities that you are supposed to take care of yourself. For instance, if you want God to help you be saved from COVID-19, God is going to give you ideas of how to make sure you avoid it, or He protects you from it. But you have to be proactive as well. It's not a substitute. It's not. It stands on its own as, to a believer, that if you want God to intervene in your affairs, you pray to Him and He gives you wisdom on how to navigate through that challenge that you're facing.
But there are those also who just believe that, it should be solely up to God. We should leave it in God's hands and it shall come to pass. So what happens then? I mean, I do understand that the Bible says another, that you need to put in the work. But what happens to those that solely believe that God is the one that is going to save them? And if He doesn't, or if He doesn't save those that are closest to them, some begin to lose faith. So how do we begin to maybe protect those with maybe such such an approach when it comes to healing?
I would encourage such people to spend more time in the Word of God. There are many things God has willed of our lives, and God has decided that He would like to happen. But the Bible says faith without works is dead. In other words, God is not going to work for you, for instance, but he wants you to go to Kitwe because that's where your blessing is. You have to find the money, get on the bus, and go to Kitwe in order to meet that expectation. God is not going to jump on the bus for you, and he's not going to go to Kitwe for you. There are things that God does and things that you have to do. Those things that are practical, that are within your power to do, God will give you energy to do those things, but you have to do those things. So please, that's not the God of the Bible, the one you have just described, that he says this is going to happen and you just sit in your house for 200 years and wait for God to just do whatever he wants to do. That doesn't even make any logical sense. God did not create zombies. He created men and women with minds, imagination, brains, and capacity to imagine things. But God is the overall. If you trust him, you respect him, you honor him, the Bible says the steps of the righteous are guided by the Lord. So God will guide you as you take the steps, and he will bring you into a place that he desires for you.
Does guidance also come in? We've seen prophets, men of the cloth, making prophecies when it comes to COVID-19. How should people also begin to approach this? Because, I mean, a lot of people are gullible. We've seen in the past people have eaten snakes. We've seen people eating grass. We've seen pastors, prophets standing on people, taking advantage of those that are so vulnerable when it comes to the faith. So what next, or what should be the way forward for those that are easily misled?
My warning to all Zambians is that Christianity is not witchcraft. Christianity is based on the word of God, and it's not for lazy people who want miracles instead of discipline and hard work. That's not what the Bible is all about. A lot of people deceived by so-called prophets are those who want easy answers, like, take away food or maybe fast foods, and they don't want to exercise their faith. They don't want to invoke their discipline. They don't want to walk a holy life. They don't want to follow what Scripture says. They want a prophet to tell them and to give them what they want. And I warn all Zambians that the only way you are going to walk the walk of God is to read Scripture for yourself. Study the Word and understand what God means. Don't go for cheap prophetic kind of thrills which make you feel good and you have not paid the price. So the answer for Zambia is in the word of God and not in the fantasies of good words spoken over your life. And I'm not saying all prophets are the same. I think you must understand that we have great prophets, great preachers, but there are also those that are trying to make money out of the gullible believers.
All right. Well, Dr. Mumba, thank you so much for speaking with us tonight, and we appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, and good night. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
All right. Well, quite interesting thoughts there. I love the fact that you actually, asked an exact question that has been burning in my mind.
Prophet.
Ish, madam.
I just had to.
You just had to ask that question.
I just had to, because a lot of people are so gullible out there. They just, and you have pastors and prophets and these men of the cloth that take advantage of these people, and you're just thinking to yourself, sometimes you look from the outside, you look at it and you're thinking, because you don't understand what that person is going through or how they're looking at it, but that's like zona is it, you know what I mean? So no, we just have to bring some light to it so that people are not scammed.
Exactly. Well, coming up, we're still talking business environment being affected, and Blessings Kafwanka is going to be joining us, just after Lusaka Province Minister Bowman Lusamba, who is, of course, already in the studio, just to come and highlight. I mean, President Lungu did call for a special cabinet meeting, and they've talked about quite a lot of issues. Not long ago, we did see Lusaka Province Minister Bowman Lusambo trying to orient marketeers. But, well, we're asking the question tonight, is this the best way to go for Zambia?
Like a mother's love, Tasty High Juicy is made from high-quality fruits. Start your day with Tasty. For that full breakfast, you can never go wrong with Tasty High Juicy. Treat your child to the lovely benefits of Tasty High Juicy. Tasty comes in different flavors. Manufactured by Revin Zambia Limited. For details, contact Revin Zambia Limited on +260 972 211 113. Email us on info@revinzambia.com or visit www.revinsarl.com.
Hey, can you give me one packet of Maximum?
Excuse me. Can I please get a packet of Maximum Classic condoms? Don't be shy. It's triple tested, trusted protection.
Hey, I'll get 2 packets of Maximum Classic condoms, please, right now.
Condoms protect you from STIs, HIV, and prevent unplanned pregnancies. Use condoms correctly and consistently for dual protection. Maximum Condom, trusted protection, is triple tested. Brought to you by the USA Discover Health Project with support from the American people through the United States President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, PEPFAR.
Woi, lero tikumbula tiboni zona. Woi, nisha kanka mais. Nona njala ngala pa hiking. Mongali kata tizeo. Antaulo samba kumanja kulibe.
Hygienic Spanish.
Contravening Cap 7 of hygiene laws. Mkudiasa samba kumanja. Je hygiene ya branch. Bad hygiene malpractice.
Apa nomba diarrhea. Yala mixta assault pamala.
Simzati majems ya manje sio pala la monga ya kudala. That's why mfunko sambila na hygienic soap. Mabela you. Officer Pompi.
Go please, madam.
Go and hygienics and kurukuta them right now.
Hygienic soap is a powerful antibacterial soap with active silver technology formulated to kill 99.9% of germs.
Hygienic soap. You are safe in our hands.
Tonight, of course, we're going to talk about quite a number of important things that will help this country fight COVID-19. Good evening, Honorable. Thank you so much for coming through tonight.
Tamtoteni mwenka shandi na vandu meshandi.
Tashima watu mwalaisa kuna kamasi. Kamashangu na gloves.
First this is very important, guys.
What is it, Honorable?
This is very important. This is Andy sanitizer.
Andy, hand sanitizer. Hand sanitizer, not a handy.
So for balamba for tatula posho mukula vila fima hande. Okay? So guys, this is very important.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't have this sanitizer, you can use Dettol. If you don't have Dettol, like my friend here, where you're coming from, if there's not Dettol soap, you can use a jig. You put jig in your the basin, and you pour water in it. Then you can use those water to wash your hands.
Or soap as well.
Yeah, or soap as well. I'm happy to be here. I was supposed to be here at 2021. 21. I'm very sorry.
We're glad that you have made it.
I'm
glad that you made it.
I had another engagement at ZNBC where we are discussing a similar topic. So I'm here ninji saka number 10 to 1.
I mean, but you've been doing quite a lot. I mean, kupitana for market, I mean, trying to talk to the marketeers. Not observing 1 meter. You were speaking to the marketeers quite closely. I mean, you were wearing a mask and all of that. Do you think this is enough, Honorable Minister, to go and just speak to the people?
If we muno mulusako for 3 o'clock kula landa na abantu. so kuya mkulanda na abantu twalefo okumonefire kitika kuma market ofo twaire mukumonefire kitika kuma market twamona ofo bareshitisha twalanda nabo. Yes, ofo twasangire kulati fimbita fyaweme because Minister of Health have given us information concerning COVID-19. And one of the precautions which they have given us from Minister of Health is social distance. Na pano penita tukwete ifimwikele so te social distance. Pantu bubulwele tabule isa fe mkuposha mumino. Tabule isa fe mkuichita agi. Tabule isa fe ati you kiss your partner. Okay? Na pape no potwikele. So yunga na kwata pipe pishapa ine kutina ambulo bulwele. That's why bale tubela turefuala ma mask, especially muno so twachiringa nini fuala na fuala nkashandi na yuwe ndumeshandi na fuala. So for twasangire ku Soweto market mairo tafyawe meyo. So for twala ndile na bene abalotokesha pa ma market ba chairman ba kamea. Twasa batifi tafyawe because social distance tapari apa. Iyo achiranje ba potapari. Then twaisa sanga na babiko tupeketi no tuma madeto filia abantu tabale bombya mo mutubeketi tamuli amenshi. That's why we were engaging those people. The most important thing which we need to do, especially here in Lusaka province, is to sensitize our people. That is part of sensitization which we started as Lusaka province. But we're not going to stop on that. Tatualekere pali apene iyo tuala ingira makomboni nomba na bazanis tuambe ukula chita announce tuala ba Minister of Health batupere information ya kulanda na abantu ngabatu ala tubike na ngupa pa CD so that ngatwapera ba driver na officer wesu iwe kabiye kumtendere lero kwa la bombera iwe kabiye ku mandevu trefaya abantu beshibe ifilechitika. But if we na imwe mweba ma media houses mufire mwatwafu because sensitization ya COVID-19 tefye sufweka ba government yo. Okay, ifo ba government na tuchitofo turingiro kuchita ba president bali pa TV batupera ma measures twala isarama ba twala chita so lero mwacho andi ilia unwanshi black label so the loyal last hapa so kwa shara katwishinga ma
advertisement hard to repeat
so kwa shara mawazi so nono elo ifenga twakusanga walishwe fya Lusaka province tabangala ifenga twakusanga will deal with you. Okay, bantu tulefwaya abantu beshi byokuba tubulwere tabule yangala iyo fofo balamba tulabiro kwebati mwisho COVID-19 tairi pwata abani ba Costa Mwansa balasangwa pa TV yena nga yakwikata ilapama ya leta no msebani. So we want to protect all our people. So when we see me visiting markets in that condition, I was not supposed to be there, but I went there because I'm part of the community. I went to sensitize those people. I knew what I was doing. Some of you mwambile okutuwa nichale chita bomani alamlete kanyamwe bantu teti nderandira ku office kwati nibali aba guys bakunyuka samawe as we are practical for twailile pala tuambo kulanda na bantu.
But talking about practical.
Yeah, talking about being practical. I mean, it's almost been what 3 weeks even that we've from the first coronavirus. Do you think you've done enough sensitization? Aren't you late when it comes to sensitization? Because now we're looking at 16 cases. When a lot of people, especially in these areas that you want to go in Muma compound, don't know about COVID-19. They don't know that they need to be washing their hands. No, Mr. Lusambo.
Bali shiba. Afu tabai shiba ni fifini orenda that no, Mr. Lusambo. No yo tabai shiba. But ngawabeba ati sambeni kuminwe. Bala samba kuminwe. Ngawabeba ati nabana bandine bali shiba. Idintu balekero kya kusukuru bali nje kusene kitwalekero kya kusukuru dadi yoro fuma lekero kya kusukuru kuri ubulwere bwaso ubulwere turingire tule samba kuminwe lyonse songa waisa kumanda kumyandi my youngest daughter Shekaina asamba akalala na kwaka. Okay, why? Because twali mpera information that ubulwere bwaba songa waisa panganda pamyandi notukulanda ati kwena abana baba minisita bali tompaba tabaposha nokuposha twalibe bati ndakwaisa abantu kubutuka nga mulefa kwaposha fati alo wana munganda so wikesaba mwena monga waisa tuleba tinya fyo ko bati bekakwata ububulwere so efyo tulefana mumushi mu bantu ofubalingira okuchita.
How many languages will the sensitization be broadcast?
For example, in Lusaka, it's only 2. We can use English and Nyanja. Because mu Lusaka bonse mulomfu echinyanja. Tevyo fine.
And Bemba, you could throw in Bemba.
Bemba, but Nyanja, it's okay, mu Lusaka. So nga tuwayamu mandevu, tuwayamu isa, tuwayamu... The most important thing, my dear sister and brother here, we need to sensitize our people. The world has come to a standstill today, and we are faced with the greatest challenge with this pandemic called COVID-19. It is not a joke, it is real. Most of the time, people want to politicize this disease. I can assure you that if you want to attach politics to this disease, then you are very stupid. Okay? Because this issue, it is a very serious issue. It's an issue which is bordering on life and death. And we need to be very serious. We need to make sure that we move politics out of this issue. We need to work together. Because this issue, it's not choosing that this one is MMD, this one is UPND, this one is PF. No. The world today is on lockdown. Baisala chalo baisala kamoneka kwatfika kwatikanganda fika nokene wafuma fyo muaisala kamoneke so akachara. Okay? And it's a very serious issue. Okay? So we need to treat this issue as serious it deserves. Not mwaya mwafuata maski mwamba kuitaba president. Bali kusaba Edgar Chagwalu iwe teri ashidi aba Edgar Chagwalu ngwedi diashidi ya chalo. So bonse tufile tuwa ibumba mo ulubadi. Bonse iwe ine so iwe shide mpia bakuforesha kuli Costa ufunyepo 10,000 kwacha. Iwe shide mpia bakuforesha kuno ku Diamond TV ufunyepo 5,000 kwacha. Mule yana kuma pharmaceutical companies mushteko if you want soap, if you want sanitizers, na imwe mwaima as Diamond TV mwaya chita donate. Because this is the time to see companies standing up and make sure that they support government. They just have to supplement.
Honorable, bus station. Bus station. Just 2 days ago, we had a caller that called in complaining about the management of. I know it's entirely upon the council, but also as Lusaka province minister, you have. Guidance as minister in charge. We haven't seen you bulldoze the bus stations as looking at the people that are directly in charge. Stations. They think that a lot of callers think that there's a little bit of some disorder in the marketplace. Isn't it where we should be putting much more of our focus as well? Have we failed to bulldoze that area?
No. We haven't failed to bulldoze that area. That's why I visited the market. From visiting the market, I went to Lusaka Kabwe Road, where we interacted with the road users. I can assure you that the Minister of Local Government and the Minister of Transport, they were at the Korima Tower, interacting with the bus drivers. So we haven't failed to move in. And this disease, my friend, it's very serious, very dangerous. So, bonse fina bus drivers na vena bafuide baishi bato apa ifim tutafi. So mailo through you. Mailo kuja ku dry pot. Kuja tubikile dry pot na ukishwa?
Ukishwa kumkwe.
Ku Kafue Road. Na ukishwa ka? Kuja kule ama bus yoko trade parking ku Zimbabwe ya
Of course, yeah.
Kuri abantu nturufi. Abere ko nomba mukushitisha ifya kushitisha. So tulefwa tubebere loko bat mailo nga twakusanga kulia wafwa kulia. Because kulia tulefwa tuchite protect abantu besu tatulefoyo obulwere bufulireko muno tulefoya nga yayisa basi twice ati muli abantu banga 1 2 3 4 ba itimu lya ku Ministry of Health babombe nchito oyo balingiri okubomba freely not uyu alina tutambala uyu alina mapegzi uyu alina shaka so from tomorrow kulyanga twakusanga kutya ukadabwa nokudabwa tatulefoya nokufaya ati yo we are if we deal with them tulefoya abantu bambe okulabombe nchito balebomba but we need you guys. We need you. So through you to the management of Diamond TV, we need sensitization of this pandemic in other languages. Tekwati bonse muchisungu fe mwaishwa yo. So na muchibe mbamulelanda. Na muchi nyanja. Na muchi lamba. Na muchitonga.
Na makada's honorable market. I mean, again I emphasize.
Makada ni vani first. Unajua makada.
Now individuals around the marketplace. Conductor poorly, bus driver poorly, but you still have other individuals that want to collect money. They keep overcrowding because now is
I'm
speaking on behalf of the callers that
feel
that no at our political some political parties.
Kada. No kada. Makada bengi na balabe no mona doctors ama nurses they are cadres.
They're cadres.
Yes.
Well, a cadre is a support of something, a belief of something. Exactly.
I think we do have a caller. We do have Derek from Sinazongwe. Good. Hello, Derek. Good evening. Hello, Derek. Do we still have Derek on the line? Okay, I guess maybe we could have lost Derek, but please remember, as you do call in, please turn down the volume on your television sets as it does create feedback, and we just might have to cut the call. Derek, if you're still there. Okay.
I think we lost him.
Hello? I think we have Derek? Hello?
Try to call us back. Turn down the volume on your TV when you call us back. Feel free to ask the minister here questions, and we are glad, of course, to have him. But again, how do we manage to deal with trying to bulldoze around the market, but they create much more population market. It's supposed to be that social distance. Social distance. Social distance. No market, honorable, honestly.
We are working on that, and I can assure you that as a minister for Lusaka Province, we work hand in hand with the Lusaka City Council and the local government ministry to make sure that we help our brothers and sisters in those markets. Yes. Even by the time we visited the market, is it yesterday? Yeah, I think it is on the sorry side. God forbid if we had any encounter of this type of pandemic there, it will be a disaster because our traders, they are not respecting the social distance. But we are trying by all means to educate them so that they can keep hygiene around their trading areas, wash their hands, and avoid.
We do have another call,
yes.
Honorable. Hello, good evening. Friday on a Thursday. Good evening. Are we having a problem with our line? Good evening, Friday. Okay, we might have to let that one go as well. Yeah, very anxious.
Keep trying before we let him go. Keep trying. You might just, we might just pick one or two calls that might be lucky to answer the minister questions, and reduce the volume on your TV set as you call us in.
Yeah, I would like to know from the minister. I've seen this. It's a big call on social media. For you as Lusaka provincial minister, many of the residents here feel like Kenneth Kaunda International Airport should be shut down. Many of the cases that are imports, the people feel like they've come through there. So, are you going to comply also? When are we going to see this airport shut down? How are you going to take care of the people of your city?
Thank you very much. It's not just a matter of shut down. There is an economy to run. Okay, Zambia is not like any other.
At the risk of the residents?
What? The same residents. It's not at the risk of the residents. I can assure you that your president, my president, our president, His Excellency Edgar Chagwa Lungu, Commander-in-Chief of Defense Force, he has invested a lot in health sector. He has invested a lot in health sector. So the reason why the decision was made to close Simon Mwansa, Harry Mwanga, and Mfoe is to have one control point for us to be effective. So I can assure you that the decision which came from government is the best decision, because our economy is a very small economy. So the sensitization which we want, actually, it's not only on the disease, also on the part of the economy. We have countries like Dubai, the reserves which they have, they can even close their borders maybe for 3 months, 6 months, but the economy won't be shaken. But our economy, we need to make sure that we keep this economy running. We have civil servants to pay, and civil servants' salaries comes from the revenue which we collect from through ZRA, and many other things. The electricity which you are using now, we need to pay to produce this electricity. So we need money. So it's not just a matter of saying, "Oh, can you shut this thing, close this thing, this thing." The most important thing is the investment which we have invested in our health sector. And when it comes to the same pandemic, how ready are we as a country? I can assure you that we are ready. That's why we have managed to have 16 patients. It's because of the machines, the investment which the president had already invested in the health sector. So don't just say close the international airport. There are a lot of activities.
What the people want. They're afraid. The people are afraid.
So the people now, we need to talk to them. We need to talk to the people. Yes, they are. Even as the leaders, we know that there is a problem. But we need to balance the equation. If you fail to balance the equation, then the equation won't balance. Then you fail your maths. You see what I mean? So we need to balance it.
Let's see if we can pick a call at this time. I hope it's successful. Good evening. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, you're through to Diamond Live. Go ahead with your question.
Good evening.
How are you?
Hello, I'm getting you.
Yes, please go ahead with your contribution or question. We have Lusaka Province Minister here.
Thank you so much. I'm getting the program. Good evening, Honorable.
Good evening. Thank you, sir.
Yes, I'm following the program so closely. I'm in Chipata City. Coronavirus is not a joke.
Yes, yes.
You know, the thing is, I really feel for Honorable Sambo. It's one of the few people that are really working hard to make us informed. But I'm very disappointed that we have got 2 vehicles of moving with a police vehicle without being mechanized from vendors, without explaining properly why they are doing that. And people are getting confused. You know? And you know, I feel we have councillors, we have an MP, no one has come on board, not even on radio, to tell us what is happening here. See? And people are so really depressed. You know, I feel for government, they're doing everything possible to bring the situation under control. But what I see is a problem. People are not explaining to the people on the ground. So I'm commending you, Diamond. You're doing a great job informing the nation what is really taking place. And I really appreciate the measures that government has put in place. And we just need to cooperate with government and share our political aspiration and vision aside. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much,
Thank you
Stephen.
very much.
Unfortunately, it has to be our last caller. We have to let the minister go. But you can respond. I mean,
information, because the information is not trickling down to the common people in the compounds. So that's why we are appealing to you, media houses. Sensitize, help government to sensitize the people out there. Because you want these people to be watching them on TV.
Indeed.
And me, I want to govern the people, not trees. So we need to, we are in this together, guys.
Together, indeed.
We are in this together.
All right. I mean, someone keeps bugging me on Facebook asking, I mean, the minister is always working so hard in markets. Please ask him. Yeah. This girl seems to be a very huge fan of you. She's asking, what do you do in your free time? On a lighter note, and as we wind up, looking at the fact that we are going towards the weekend, even though we will not have bars open.
I think maybe
because before turabomba sana, so ka free time kuba nabakashi nabana. You know, I have daughters, and I have to be next to them.
You don't play football?
I do play football as well, but Wednesdays and Saturdays I'm with the president. We do exercise on Wednesdays and Saturdays with the boss. So apart from that, I am always with my wife. Then I also visit my friends. I have friends. I have male friends and female friends.
Okay.
So I do visit female friends as well. I do visit male friends. So I have friends as well.
We hope you can visit us too, outside the camera, so we can
not you.
Get to have an understanding of how certain things work.
Oh wow! But I would like to know from you before you go. With the measures that have been happening, wash your hands, don't touch your face. Have you? Obviously, it took some time to adapt to it. How difficult was it to get to that point where you are?
Yeah, it was very difficult because the nature of my work as a minister and a politician, we like shaking hands. Yes, how are you? How are you? But it was very difficult.
Yeah.
But I went home. I was watching CNN. I was watching BBC. And I realized that, so this is real. People are dying. Okay? That's why I've been moving with this. In my vehicle, in my office. Both offices, when you come to my office at home, there's this thing. When you go to government office, there's this thing. My car, there's this thing. Because I know that coronavirus is real. Okay? So I just wanted to encourage you, even yourselves. I know ladies, young men, you want to hang out there with your colleagues. Try by all means to reduce your parties. You know, the president talked about that. Try by all means.
Oh, yeah.
Life is precious.
Indeed it is.
Okay, try by all means. And this is a time to become born again. Read the Bible. And be with your family. Are you married, my young man?
No, I'm not.
You're not? Oh, okay. Are you married?
Oh my God, Honorable. But
anyway, we have to let you go.
We have to, exactly. I think it's time we let the Honorable go. We appreciate your presence.
No, thank you very much. But let us work together.
Yeah.
Let us work together. I'll be doing a lot of community work. So I will need partners like you to come so that we can sensitize our people together.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
thank you. Thank you very much.
Take a break. We'll be winding down with Blessings Kafwan, because of course going to just tell us about how ready we can be, especially that we have quite a number of local businesses.
That's the five weight
Honorable, we have to take a break.
This could be you, or this could be you. Even though there are hundreds of road accidents every day, we have driven you with confidence, ensuring you reach your destination safely. From motor to home and property insurance, take up a Madison General Insurance policy today and secure your tomorrow. Madison General Insurance, safeguarding and giving you peace of mind since 1992. MGen, it's worth it.
Are you ready to win big? Get into the game for real with a sport betting app shaking Zambia. CastleBet. Visit www.castle.bet to play. Call now or WhatsApp on 0969 966 599. CastleBet offers fast, instant payouts as soon as the final whistle blows. Cash out winnings instantly via MTN or Airtel Mobile Money or FNB ATM. Get into the game wherever you are. In the office, at the bar with friends, or even at home watching TV. Win 800,000 kwacha on any game thanks to the CastleBet app. You can even bet live during the match as you watch the game on TV. Join online in less than 30 seconds by visiting www.castle.bet or call or WhatsApp on 0969 966 599. Mwai wako.
Every time I wash clothes, something goes wrong. The clothes are itchy, they are stretched, or completely faded. What am I doing wrong?
You're missing something.
Huh?
Boom Fabric Conditioner is specially formulated to stop your clothes from shrinking, stretching, fading, and fuzz. With Fragrance Burst technology, Boom Fabric Conditioner gives you a scent that lasts for weeks, keeping clothes fresher for longer. Try Boom Fabric Conditioner for a scent that lasts. Trade Kings, improving lives.
It's a new month for the Diamond Top 10. You know what that means, right? Well, it means new vibes and new music. And aren't up to date with who's topping the charts? Don't stress, because Vida and the Diamond Top 10 got you covered.
This is the Diamond Top 10, the show where we count down the top 10 best local music videos, and we're talking Zambian music videos.
On top of that, you get to vote, yes, for your favorite top 3 music videos and artists. It's simple. What you need to do is visit any one of our social media pages, and when you see us post about the Diamond Top 10, simply comment the name of the artist and song that did it for you. You can also nominate a song you feel should be on the charts by simply mentioning it along with your top 3. Catch Vida on the Diamond Top 10 every Monday and Wednesday at exactly 17 hours, only on the home of Set Pop Culture.
Well, as we wrap up the show, we of course need to talk about how, as SMEs, you should be safe now that, of course, we're talking COVID-19, 16 cases so far in the country. Of course, financial analyst Blessing Skafanka is here to just give us a guide on what we should, of course, be looking out for. Good evening.
Good evening, Cheswan Malama.
It's the first time he's coming on the show.
That's what I mean, the last time we sat together was on the breakfast show. So that's what I was telling her. I said, wow, I haven't seen you.
Well, we always have you on the news desk, but at least today is good that we're going to have a cordial, conversation. Looking at the fact it's a Thursday and it's a mini Friday. Let's begin from the fact that many more cases now, from 12. Now we're looking at 16 cases. How do we treat the business environment? What is your focus as a financial analyst? How do you analyze where we seem to be going business-wise, especially for the SMEs?
Well, I think we are living in a very, a very challenging period, and businesses are also experiencing this period, which is also very challenging, and it's not easy to pass through a period like this one. You remember very well, I think about slightly more than 10 years ago when we went through the 2007, 2008 financial crisis, the kind of impact that it had on the business environment. Unfortunately, not so many businesses were able to survive. A number of businesses closed up, people lost their jobs, and a lot of things happened during that period. And when you look at what we are going through now, in fact, global economists have already mentioned that we are already in a recession. Things are not okay, meaning that the business environment out there is no longer favorable. When you look at what is going on back here in Zambia, we already have a number of businesses that have already shut down. I think slightly over a week ago, schools closed down. And when you look at some of the schools, especially the private schools, universities and colleges, just the fact that they have shut down even 2 weeks before the month end, a number of them are not in a position to be able to pay salaries. Yeah. And a number of them are not in a position even to be able to meet their tax obligations, NAPSA obligations, when they fall due on the 10th of April. So it's a very challenging period that we are going through. And I think it's important that businesses should be able to take certain precautions to be able to increase their chances of being able to survive during this period. So there are a number of things that I believe that a lot of businesses out there can do to be able to go through this period. Firstly, I think we need to realize that whenever there's a crisis, whenever there's a problem economically, there is always an opportunity that arises. Okay, so there are certain opportunities that have arisen because of the crisis that we are in. South Africa is in a lockdown. South Africa is one of the main source of imports for us as a nation. We import goods in excess of $2 billion per annum. Okay, a lot of things come from down in South Africa there. So the fact that they are closing down their border simply means that the supply for the things that we buy from South Africa is actually going to reduce within our economy. So meaning that a lot of manufacturers, business people out there can take advantage of this environment. Let us try to produce a little bit more so that we can satisfy the local demand. There's always been this debate that our market is flooded with a lot of South African products or Chinese products and products from other countries, but this time around now, it's a perfect opportunity for manufacturers to be able to come up and take advantage of the environment.
But in the fact of producing more, you talk about producing more to satisfy our own local demands. Do you see us having the capacity to do this? I mean, industries are here. Yes, we do manufacture our own Zambian products. We do manufacture our own drinks, local drinks, whether be it packaged like Maheo, Munkoyo, whatever it is, sort of thing that you're going to package for them. Do we have the capacity as it is now? Looking at the fact that now, with the dollar, with all of these economic shocks that we continue to see, I mean, it looks devastating for the ordinary business man and woman.
Well, that's a very important question that you've asked, Cheswa. I think challenges will always be there. And in terms of the capacity, I think we do have quite a number of manufacturers out there that have got the capacity. And we have some manufacturers that have the capacity, but because of the stiff competition that has been there on the market, you find that some of them have not been able to break through and be able to obtain a fair market share. But the fact that we are going through this period, it's an opportunity even for those that have not been able to penetrate the market, to be able to penetrate. There are a number of things that I think local manufacturers should be able to do to take advantage of this particular scenario. Part of the reason why some manufacturers are not able to break through is something to do with the quality of their products, competitiveness in terms of pricing, and a number of other things. So these are some of the things that we need to look at as local business people to be able to take advantage of the opportunity that has arisen. And then in terms of being able to produce goods, there are certain goods that have, that are more in demand now. Okay, so as a business person, look at the kind of products and the kind of services that you're offering. Are they still relevant even as we are going through this period? You find that certain products and certain services may not be relevant as we are going through this period. So it is up to you and I. If you are running a business, I'm running a business, I need to look at the goods that are more in demand. Everybody wants hand sanitizer now. Okay, there are certain services that people need now. Deliveries, because not everybody would want to move around. Okay, we've seen in other countries, developed countries, where some people have taken advantage of that and they've been able to go into the delivery business where they're able to buy your grocery, they're able to buy your food and deliver on your doorstep. Okay, of course, there are certain guidelines that you will have to follow because there are certain guidelines that will be put in place. So I believe there are so many opportunities that will arise as a result of the situation that we are in. The depreciation of the kwacha, now I think when you look at the exchange rate, $1 is at about 18 kwacha. The depreciation of the kwacha is definitely not good for business, okay? But there is an opportunity that also arises as a result of the depreciation. If you are going to produce more goods and have some goods that are available for exports, it basically means goods are more competitive across the borders because they need more forex to be able to buy from across the borders. So if you're a local manufacturer, you just improve on your productivity and improve on the quality of your goods, and you'll be able to attract the people that are not able to buy from across the border simply because the kwacha is, the kwacha is not performing well against the US dollar. So I believe there are several opportunities that business people out there can take advantage of to be able to sail through this period.
We have so many industries that are lacking in this country that we just don't have anyway. We've got very limited industries in this country. So looking at the current situation, in a time of corona, in a time where if we did have those industries, I don't know. I think Zambia would be in a totally different position. But with that being said, with lacking just that impact of diversity when it comes to the industry, do you see maybe moving forward the hunger to improve or to have on board those industries, or birthing anyway of those industries? Because now we will feel the pinch. When you don't know how good you got it until something is missing. So do you see maybe a point where we'll get to say, okay, you know what, these are the industries that we really need to crack on if we are to build our economy?
That's a very important question that you've asked, Malama. The truth of the matter is that in terms of industrialization as a nation, we are still very far. We are still lacking. And that's the reason why I believe all of us have got a role to play to be able to improve things. As entrepreneurs, as business owners, we have a role to play. But then on the other end, the government also has a role to play to be able to encourage these industries to come up. There are certain deliberate measures that the government can put in place to be able to attract investment in certain sectors of the economy, to be able to attract people to go into manufacturing of goods and services. So now, this period that we are going through, I think there are a lot of challenges, and it's not easy for us to be able to work on that as of now. But there is this discussion that is going on, I think, between the IMF and the World Bank. They are, urging our bilateral creditors to consider giving us debt relief. And I think that is still going on. They're still talking about that. But should that, come through, should our bilateral creditors be able to give us relief, it means that our external debt service costs will go down significantly, and that will be able to free up some resources that can then be channeled towards stimulating certain key sectors of our economy.
But Mr. Kafong, talking that, as we wind up, Kenya now having tax turnovers reduction from 3% to 1%. Do you see government doing this? And why do you think...
To waiver taxes?
Why do you think... probably President Lungu didn't give in a little bit of some tax incentives, tax reductions, reduction of resident income tax, for example, in Kenya. They did. The president just did talk about that. We played a clip earlier on today. Do you see that happening?
That's exactly the point that I'm trying to make here. The fact of the matter is that we do not have the resources to be able to do some of the things that Kenya is doing. When you look at the state of our reserves, we do not have reserves. We do not have enough reserves. We are struggling to pay off retirees. We are struggling to pay civil servants on time. We just don't have the money to be able to do that. And picking up from where I left from, if that was to happen, it basically means that now you have enough resources that then you can use to stimulate the local business environment. Okay, then it puts you in a position now to be able to implement some of those measures. So we may not be able to implement everything that the Kenyan government is doing, but I think there are a few things that we can consider doing. And one of the things that I believe we can consider doing is giving tax relief for business owners. You might want to consider revising the turnover tax regime and the corporate tax regime. You might also want to look at making adjustments to the pay-as-you-earn regime. Those two, for me, I believe they are something that we can do. There are a lot of other things that we cannot do because of the financial position that we are in. So in the long run, I think it's important for us to be able to compare what our colleagues are doing and be able to adopt some of the things that can work within our context.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We hope that Zambia can indeed adopt some of those, tax incentives. Also, I mean, the local businesses really need them.
Indeed.
Right. Well, unfortunately, Mom, we'll have to end here.
We have to end here.
I know there's a lot of messages that are coming through, but all we could say is thank you so much to everybody that spends time to watch the show. Shout out to the Chulus, Elias Chulu and wife and family watching, the kids, everybody that's tuned into the show. Thank you so much to Honorable
Dr.
for coming.
Teddy Mlenga as well was trying to call me. I was on air,
Really?
Doc. Yes.
Thank you to Mr. Kafanga who drove all the way here, and on behalf of all of our guests, Dr. Mumba, we love you and we're back here tomorrow.
Oh, you're feeling so lovely today, aren't you?
Come on.